What's good, everybody? It's your man Dale saying, how y'all doing out there? Happy Friday. Today is Friday, the April 25th, if I'm not mistaken. It's April 25th. And I don't know if you guys have heard the news, but it's been all over this morning. In Wisconsin, a judge was arrested by the FBI, allegedly for obstruction of justice or something. You know what? Let's check it out.
Federal authorities reportedly arrested a Milwaukee County circuit judge this morning for allegedly assisting an undocumented migrant. In a since deleted tweet from FBI Director Kash Patel, he said this judge was arrested on charges of obstruction related to an immigration arrest. NBC News law enforcement and intelligence correspondent Tom Winter following these details for us. So, Tom, this is obviously late breaking. I know you were just running in here after checking court paperwork. What do we know about this arrest and this judge?
Oh, that's right. So Judge Hannah Dugan is the person who's been arrested here, facing two counts. The court paperwork was just unsealed: obstructing or impeding a proceeding before a department or agency of the United States and concealing an individual to prevent his discovery and arrest. And what they allege here, in the course of the complaint that's been filed by the FBI agent who is running this investigation, is that essentially this judge used the jury door. So that's the door that the jury comes in and out of the courtroom. It allows the jury to come in and out of the courtroom and be able to move through non-public areas. So that protects them. But it's also a way for other court staff to move through. And apparently she was involved in this case, at least according to the information that the federal prosecutors and the FBI has alleged here in the course of their investigation. She moved this individual who's wanted by ICE, for which there was an active and a arrest warrant for, to be removed from the United States, moved him through the jury door, allowing him to effectively evade ICE agents. This individual.
Okay. Wow. Wow. Okay. All right. So, how do I feel about this one? You know what I mean? Y'all know I'm very careful to use the word feel. I don't like the way that word is used. When people say, I feel like this, I feel like that. But I think it's appropriate in this case. It's wow. So, if this is true, if what the government alleges is true, and you have a judge who willfully and knowingly helped an individual who was wanted by a government agency that had a warrant, an arrest warrant, and you help that person avoid the arrest, that's a crime, right? And you got to answer for it. You got to answer for that. So on the one hand, yeah, I believe in law and order, even though law and order doesn't necessarily help people who look like me the way it should, but it's gotten better, and we got to believe in something. It's either we believe in the laws or we don't. So, okay, if this is true, then yeah, this judge should be held accountable for her actions. On the other hand, here's a judge, here's someone who absolutely believes in right and wrong, who believes in justice. And this judge may believe or have some information that she knows that this particular person is going to wind up in a foreign country like El Salvador in some torturous prison like they got down there, that DCOT or whatever it's called down there. And in her mind, that's wrong. I want to do everything I can to help this person, irregardless of where this person is and their legal status and all that. So I get there are two sides to this. But we can't have judges doing this sort of thing from the bench. Like if the judge was just in the courtroom and told the person or persons to, hey, take this individual out through the jury entrance, and people like, okay, judge, we'll but the judge wasn't on the bench. The judge was just there. That's one thing, just kind of helping. But when you're on the bench and you're using your legal authority to break federal laws, you got to nip that in the bud. Now, I'm not a fan of Donald Trump and his administration, but I mean, it was something like this. My gut, hands are tied, right? Like, okay, what do you do? Like, or what? So now it becomes, well, what laws do we follow? What laws don't we follow? I mean, and especially coming from a judge. So no matter what happens here, I think that this particular judge is going to be removed from the bench. I think that this judge is going to take some sort of plea deal. Yeah, I did it, kind of like plead no contest. I did it because it's wrong for the federal government to send people from different countries down to El Salvador. Like, because let's say this guy's from Colombia or Venezuela or something like that. He winds up in the system. He finds himself on one of those planes down to El Salvador. And he winds up in an El Salvadorian prison because the federal government here says that this dude is a gang member or have gang ties. We already know that that's the case. We already know that the current administration is defying court orders to bring individuals back who've been caught up in this, either through error or whatever. So that, again, when they get into this judge might say, hey, we can fight this out in court, and this is what she's doing to fight the bad people, right? So she's made a decision. She probably knows, like, I'm going to lose my seat as a judge. She probably knows I'm going to get arrested, as she did. We're just going to have to keep our eyes on this and see how this plays out. I mean, this is crazy. And just a side note, if you're in California, like in California family court, and let's say you're dealing with someone like the other parent in your custody situation is an undocumented person, like in the country illegally, if you say something in the court, the judges, they'll jump all over you. And they'll tell you like the person's legal status doesn't matter. And how dare you bring that up in that court? You say something like that again, and we'll censure you or we'll hold you in contempt. That happens in California, which is hilarious because the statute in California, when it comes to that, it reads that no parent who is participating in an ongoing criminal act can be named custodial parent. Where's that effect? Legal people, check my math on that. But basically, if you are participating in an ongoing criminal act, they can't give you custody of the child. And if you're in the country illegally, you're participating in an ongoing criminal act. Simple as that. So this is huge. This is huge. So moving forward, undocumented people in the country illegally, they're not going to go to court. They're not going to go to court. They're not going to go to hearings for the IRS. They're not going to go to hearings for family court. They're not going to go to hearings to whatever court she was on. Criminal matters, I mean, if they're locked up, you're going to get walked into court. But if you're out on bond or something like that, you probably won't go to court because people can plainly see that the feds are coming to the courtroom to snatch you up and deport you. And again, I don't have a problem with that, provided they've gone through due process and they have a warrant for your arrest. I don't have a problem with that. Or if they had a deportation order, if ICE comes looking for you, it makes sense to me. But what this particular judge has done allegedly, she definitely crossed the line, in my opinion, if it's true. And seems to me that this particular judge is prepared for the fallout. She knows what she's doing, and I can't speak for this woman, but she's gonna lose. She's probably gonna lose her spot as a judge. She's gonna lose her seat, but she's gonna be the hero of a bunch of people in America. She's gonna be able to write books. She's gonna be able to do lectures. She's gonna make a lot of money. I don't think she's doing it for the money. I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. I've never met a broke judge. There may be some out there who just getting started, but judges been on the bench for a while. They got money. Yeah, that makes you think, don't it? But this particular judge will probably become a celebrity. An activist. I mean, it is what it is, and I don't know anything about this judge, but I'm sure the information is going to come out because what are the political leanings of this judge? What kind of cases have this judge presided over? Like, what kind of court is this? All that's going to come out in the wash. But yeah, guys, a judge got arrested by the FBI for obstruction in an immigration case. It's basically trying to hide or help a wanted person evade arrest. What are y'all thoughts? Let me know. Comments below. Curious, really. What are y'all thoughts on this one? There's a lot going on. Former congressperson was sentenced to 7 years in prison. That's Santos. Trump's poll numbers are like really, really down the drain. America's turning on. I mean, there's a lot going on politically. I'll talk about this more moving forward. But this case right here with the judge, you're gonna hear about this all weekend long and then into next week. Mark my words on that. Have a good weekend, guys. I'll be definitely seeing you guys, and we're coming up on the end of the month. So again, after the 1st, I'm gonna go back to doing the lives. Hopefully, I can get 2 lives done a week. Yeah. So I'll see you guys then. Right. In the meantime, I'm gonna keep doing these shorts. And like I said, let me know what you think. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe out there, and I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.